everyone, and welcome back to the Unpacked podcast. And I believe this is episode 8. And as always, I'm joined by my usual co-host, Jack. Jack, how are you?
I'm fantastic. It's a lovely Sunday afternoon here in April in the world. It's very nice.
It is. It's a fantastically warm day, and we got our second guest on this week's episode of the podcast, and we're joined by none other than EC Trading, aka Elliot. Elliot, how are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here. Looking forward to it.
Thank you for coming on. And Jack, what are we discussing this week?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say we've got more than one guest in today's video. We've got Mose the cat just down there as well. So we've got two guests today. He's unfortunately not going to be saying much in today's episode, but what we're going to be discussing is people returning to the hobby. We've had a lot of people, especially over lockdown, pick up some cards again, see what they can do with it, and buy products, which we hadn't been seeing for a while. So it's a pretty exciting thing, and we've got someone who has returned after 5 years out of collecting something like that, which is a perfect example and a perfect person to ask questions about when it comes to asking why people return. And also what I'd like to say as well, apologies, please do listen to this on Apple Podcast or Spotify Podcast, or of course you can watch the video on YouTube. Thank you very much.
You took the words from my mouth, and the only thing you've missed out there is if people could leave us a cheeky little review. That would be absolutely fantastic. Couldn't ask for more than that. But I think we've discussed a lot, haven't we, over the last however many episodes now about newbies, but we haven't really covered people, the draw for people returning. So we thought, what better way to sort of intro that, bring that into the conversation, and talk to someone that's returned, such as yourself, Elliot. So I suppose it's sort of the first thing to sort of find out a little bit and see what we can delve into is, so why now? Why football cards again, and stickers and collecting in general?
Well, it's a bit of a long one, really. Our first Jack mate, he made his cards Instagram account, which I came across the first time, and I saw these other collections like your Prizms, Euro Select, what else? Donruss, stuff like that. And I thought, they look a bit interesting. Obviously, the price is quite high, so I wasn't sure how to actually get into it. But then I saw the money you can make as well, and I thought, I'll give it a go. So, entered a Burnley box break. Didn't get very good cards, but I sort of got a bit addicted after that.
Yeah, you were sucked in. Sucked in. I suppose that must be the way for a lot of people. It's interesting that you were brought here, I suppose, like via social media, not through seeing a product in a shop or anything. I think that's quite interesting in terms of, I suppose that's an added dimension to the hobby now. The fact that there is all this on social media and online that didn't exist before. I think it's just a different way of looking at it. I never really thought about that.
And I think it's the bigger YouTubers bringing people into it as well, like Jack May, as you mentioned. Like the Morley Pig do it as well. He's been doing, of course, Charlie Morley, for those who don't know his nickname. He's been doing a lot of stuff over on his Instagram. So what the thing about it is that it's football at the end of the day. It's connecting people via football when they haven't been able to go to grounds, buying the packs and stuff like that. And it's just cool, isn't it? Even you picking Burnley, you're a Liverpool fan, you pick Burnley. It's a bit of fun, fun on usually just like an evening just before the next day, and it's just fun, and it sucked me in as well. I can't stop with Prizms now, and it's led to a new account forming, hasn't it? I think that's what we should mention now, and that is Trade Cards. If you don't know,
Mousemat's out.
Yeah. If you don't know, get to know. It's just such a. I must admit, I knocked people doing all these breaking and stuff. Probably in this podcast, I probably slated people early on, and for people, reselling and stuff like that. But once you get into it, there's a lot of fun to be made in there. it's rewarding seeing people get sick cards, and it's not just about making money, because if it's all about making money, then you're in it for the wrong reasons.
But I think this is what I was about to say. It's different, having seen you guys do it as well. It sort of changes perceptions, and of course there's some money to be made, but you both have personal collections that you're trying to fund things for. But I think I see you more as facilitators, as you say. You get joy out of seeing people get good cards. You're just facilitating that. Not everyone has the know-how of where to go and get some of these hobby products from, or can afford to get a full box for themselves, like you say. But you can facilitate in helping them get some cards or certain cards that they need. So so I've sort of opened my eyes up a little bit as well.
I think it's good that we can sort of make it accessible to other people that wouldn't normally be able to afford to buy boxes, because obviously you can't buy these packs, firstly in the UK, most of them, and secondly you can't buy them pack by pack off just from your local news agents or whatever. So these boxes are at 400 quid. So if we can make it accessible to people, let them collect their favourite teams, their cards, and make a bit of money on the side, I don't know what the problem really is with that.
Like prime example, I missed out on F1 Chrome. I missed the website crashed and caused all sorts of problems. The price of the boxes has kept going up and up and up, and priced me out of ever being able to get a full box. But you guys are getting one to break, and I thought, well, hey, there's a perfect opportunity here for me to get my hands on some cards that I want. And I'm quite like certain drivers. I quite like George Russell, so I've taken Williams in one of your upcoming breaks. And what a fantastic thing it is, because it means I actually get my hands on cards I didn't think otherwise I was going to be able to.
It's the same for football though as well. If you support a team in the Premier League, yes, if you are a Man United fan and Arsenal fan, you're paying a little bit more because you have the chance of getting better cards. But yeah, it's a nice way of people. I'd say from the lower end clubs if we're going back to football, collect their team sets because it's affordable as well. They're obviously the cheaper ones out there, and always seem to get blessed in these box breaks anyway. But yeah, it is fun, and Trade Week cards. What a page, what a group.
Yeah.
Just a question: did you guys expect it to have taken off quite as quickly as it has? Because I think at the beginning you were just doing a raffle or two, but all of a sudden you've gone straight into boxes now, and people seem to be loving it.
I definitely didn't think we'd go as quickly as we have.
No.
Well, when we first made it, I genuinely didn't think we'd break a box. I thought we'd just do the raffles and that'd be it really. But because of how quickly and how much interaction we got on the page, we've been able to do 2 breaks already. We're getting our 3rd this week. So yeah, I think the success has been unexpected this quickly. Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, I suppose there's a risk, and people have got to put a lot of trust in you as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trust people have got to put in you. So, I think credit where credit's due, maybe, to people that have sort of put their faith in you to sort of help you get some of these boxes, giving you their money to then go and invest in a box or two.
That's the thing. There's such a community sort of spirit though within these box break accounts that sort of everyone looks out for each other, and if anyone sees a scam account or something, they're so quick to report it and share it around. So I think that was the main thing at the start when we did our first box. We wanted to make sure that people knew that we weren't gonna scam them. So we lowered the prices probably a bit lower than what most people would put them up for, but it was just to build a sort of solid foundation and make sure people respected us as a good and reliable account.
We've got to give a massive credit to Pullman as well. I know he watches these podcasts, so a massive thank you to you for helping us fill that first break, because from then on we've obviously went and got another breakaway box, and now our 3rd one is probably our biggest and what I'm probably the most excited for, our F1 break. Even though I have no interest whatsoever in F1, there's some good cards you can get in there. Like it's a good investment, putting in, I don't know, whatever your favourite team is. I know you've put in, Toby, you put in £60, was it, for Williams?
Yeah, because I quite like George Russell. You know, some people it's driver rather than team, but it's like, as I said earlier, you've provided an opportunity that I otherwise wouldn't have had.
Yeah, and that's the joy of these breaking accounts. And this is what, going back to the whole theme of this podcast episode, is what's bringing people back into this hobby. And it's not just football cards, it's other sports as well. All sorts of people, you know, been getting into basketball because of these basketball breaks, the NBA breaks, the hoops, I think it's called hoops breaks, something like that. But they're everywhere. And everyone, you know, obviously this country's main sport is football. So, you know, when you see football cards, you do think of your childhood, and you see these breaks happening, and it's a bit of nostalgia as well with that. And I think the added element is that you can make money from some of these cards.
Yeah.
I think that's what draws a lot of people in, is that if you pull, even if you're not a collector, if you pull something which is, I don't know, 1 of 1, 1 of 5, there's good money in that. Plus the autos, you can't forget the autos. You know, they are massive, and that's what everyone wants to pull an auto from their web lips. I know Prizm's checklist was absolutely appalling, but you look at the upcoming Obsidian, which kind of scares me that there's that many legends in one set.
Yeah.
And this is what's bringing people back in, which is, I love it. You know, it's just people who'd, you know, previously collected, I don't know, match attacks, shootouts, even if they're a little bit older, and now they're getting all these premium sets to collect and to, you know, make a nice collection out of, or to resell and fund for even more necessary purchases like paying bills, etc.
Absolutely. Go on, sorry, Elliot.
A lot of strategy involved in it as well. It's like it's not just collecting. It's obviously people invest in cards. So like obviously a lot of people have been buying Haalands recently because of the rise that everyone thinks he's going to have, and it's just it's like a sort of safer and more fun way of gambling, because you're buying cards, so you've got a physical thing. So it's not just money. You've got the card there, and then you either keep it or sell it, and you've got to work out the right time to do both. Yeah, it's just great.
You put it really, really well there, and you mentioned, Jack, as well, before we sort of move away from tradery cards, Obsidian and, you know, other products. So what's next? What's obviously doing the F1 Chrome? What can we expect over the sort of the next 2-3 months? Maybe obviously we're heading towards the Euros as well. So
that's funny you mentioned that. There's a brand new Euro set coming out called Euro Mosaic, which, wow, that looks incredible as well. That's going to be incredible. There's no checklist released just yet, but once there is, it's going to be brilliant. And I know I mentioned to you the other night, Tobias, that this is the most fun I've had in terms of opening packs and like buying new stuff in this sort of hobby for a while. And I've been doing it for a long, long time. I haven't been more. I don't even like F1. I don't watch the sport, and I'm not even opening it. And I'm more excited about watching you open up an F1 box, see if we get an auto, and then, you know, then, for example, opening up 5 packs of Match Stacks Extra, which are just going to have cards which will end up in the recycling bin. You know.
Yeah.
It's such a fun thing. It's such a fun pastime to have. Plus, it's not only fun for us as breakers, it's fun for people buying into the breaks, and fun for people who didn't even buy into it but want to watch it. Because I've been watching all sorts of other breakers' accounts and their breaks, and which I haven't even bought into. It's just interesting seeing what kind of cards you can get and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely an exciting future ahead. Obviously, as we do come out of lockdown, you'll probably see less and less people possibly going for the cards, but it'll be interesting to see. Who knows? But yeah, Euro's coming up, Euro Mosaic, Obsidian's out now. Chronicles is coming back in June, I think. And see, I'm learning so much about all these new premium sets. It's brilliant. A couple of months.
We've got an Obsidian box coming as well, so
we have, yeah.
That'll be exciting. Very exciting.
Wow.
opened on my channel. So
Yeah.
cannot wait to open that.
I think it's good for the sort of trading card sort of entertainment industry, I suppose, if you want to call it that, because a lot more people have through Instagram mainly have started engaging more with trading card content.
Yeah,
I suppose.
yeah. I said this. I sort of took a wild stab in the dark back in, I think it was October. I said that when hobby sets were starting to, creep up a little bit, I said that that's the future. I think that still is probably the future of, if you want to expand your content on YouTube, that's the route you want to go down. And I obviously I got a £50 mystery box from Pullman, which was brilliant. That did really well for views. People loved that. So then I did the Prizm cereal box, which also did very well recently. I've got another couple of them coming, I think. Thank you, Chris. And we've got the Obsidian, which I'm going to be opening as well, which is a guaranteed 4 autographs and or shirt cards. and as I mentioned before, the checklist is absolutely disgusting. So
yeah,
there could be something absolutely special in there, which is why, I cannot wait. This is, as I mentioned before, I've never been this excited to open up cards before in a long, long time, I must say.
I think. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I think the exact words you said to me were, Jack, that you weren't even opening them yourself, but you were getting so much joy in seeing other people get good hits and get nice cards for their own collections. And I think that's quite a sort of selfless way of looking at it, and having that enjoyment from that. Like, yeah, for you it must feel quite rewarding, I'd imagine. Again, helping facilitate that and just going on to the Euro. What's the collection? Mosaic. Yeah, I nearly said Select. I meant to say Mosaic. But I've seen the fatty stained glass. Just one card looks amazing. That really, really looks nice. So I'm sure it'll be good.
Oh, it will be good. And going back to feeling happy about other people getting good cards. Take Collect Your Fandom. I know he listens into these podcasts. A shout out to you. Thank you very much for entering the Trade We Breaks recently. He got absolutely blessed with Crystal Palace in a recent break, like Checo Chiarte special. And how much is that? £10, £12?
I think it might have been 12. I can't remember.
Yeah,
10 or £12.
It was a late entrant. It was on the day of the
break.
And that must be so rewarding because he's a young lad and he's getting cards like that of that caliber. It's
one of the 1 of 5.
Yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see. And obviously, I would like to point out that we don't, if people can't afford to enter these breaks, we don't push it because that's just not right. That's not right. If you push someone to pay, I don't know, 60 quid for Alfa Romeo, for example, in an upcoming break, no, it's just not right. So there's a balance.
Absolutely.
I guess it's just a question of how long will it take for these sets to start being released in the UK, because that would take the price down dramatically of what UK-based breakers would have to charge for their breaks to cover their costs, because obviously from America you've got the shipping costs, postage, and it's just as soon as these things can come to the UK, the better, I think.
Yeah,
it's a valid point. I've sort of overlooked the fact that you're having to import these things from America or other parts of Europe. And the demand's there now. That's the thing. The demand is there. The demand is there for these hobby sets in the UK. So hopefully the interest sustains, so that Panini Tops, whoever else is producing these, brings them to UK market at UK prices. So that would be good. But staying sort of moving back to the topic of returning.
Mm-hmm.
So Elliot, obviously you've come back. You sort of said what drew you in. So aside from Trade Week cards, what's the plan? What's the plan now?
Well, the YouTube channel, I'm going to start uploading a bit more on that because I do enjoy that. But it's just, I don't know what direction to go in really, because obviously I can't really buy the premium stuff just to open on my channel. So it's whether I go back to the sort of lower price collections, or whether I maybe a couple more cereal boxes. That did all right, but I'm not really sure. We'll see what happens with these new collections. If they bring out anything that's affordable for a YouTube video, then that's what I'll do. But yeah, I think trade recard is sort of my main focus now. But yeah, I've got these other things off the side. My personal collection, Liverpool cards. And if anyone listening wants to sell any Liverpool cards they got, then I'll be happy to have a conversation about it.
Details we'll leave in the description to
Yeah.
get in contact with Elliot. So yeah, but no, so you're looking to build a personal collection. Obviously, you've got a bit of an interest in F1. You're
Yeah.
going to dip into obviously there's been F1 Dynasty's been and gone, and
Yeah.
Chrome's coming. But you're thinking about dipping into Turbo Attacks when they come out later this year?
Potentially, yeah. I might have a go at Turbo Attacks. Didn't do that the first time round, so might give it a go. Probably more so than Match Attacks because I've sort of passed the Match Attacks phase now. I think it was good while I was in it, but yeah, I think I'm more onto the premium football cards now. But F1, I might have to, because the Chrome cards are so expensive, so might have to do a bit of Turbo Attacks. Yeah.
What I would say with Turbo Attacks is that as I keep mentioning, I don't watch F1 at all, but that was a fun collection. It was good. The card quality as well, the card choices. Well,
a lot of thought had gone into it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want from a collection. And if you were to go back to entry level football sets, then you haven't just got Match Attacks now, because when you left it was just Match Attacks at the top doing Premier League in their prime, basically, or just after their prime. You probably left. Now there's Adrenaline XL, which is just incredible. Adrenaline XL is the go-to when it comes to entry-level football sets at the moment. But who knows what's going to happen? This is, again, the excitement for the new sets for next season is definitely there. I can't wait for that. And it'll be nice to see what kind of sets you go for when they do come out. But yeah, definitely recommend Turbo Attacks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you raised a good point there, Elliot, as well, around the F1 Chrome and the Turbo Attacks, and there's kind of a gap in between. Obviously, F1 Chrome was really expensive, and obviously Turbo Attacks is sort of in comparison, like it's dead cheap, isn't it? Do you think there's sort of a gap for something in between still?
Potentially, or maybe if they brought out a higher one, then the prices of the F1 Chrome would go down, because if the football Match Attacks Chrome or whatever it was, that's not anywhere near the price of the F1 Chrome. So I think that there was just too much demand for a higher level F1 set that it pushed the price so high of these boxes. Whereas maybe if they had the Dynasty out at the same time or around the same time, maybe because that was slightly higher, I think, in terms of quality, I presume, than the F1 Chrome.
The Dynasty.
So maybe if they did that, yeah.
Yeah, like the Dynasty high. It was. This is the thing. Like, there was talk that it was going to happen, and there was all this talk, but then it all went really, really quiet, and then all of a sudden it was just there. And the next thing I know, there's American people on YouTube and Instagram breaking these lovely looking, little boxes and getting, an autograph in every box for quite a lot. So I don't even know what the price point was, but you've got to assume if Chrome was 180 or 170 pounds, 175 pounds, or whatever it was, you've got to assume that Dynasty was 300, 400 pounds. But again, if you have a UK release, and just with Formula One in general, hopefully Topps have learnt their lesson that the demand is there, so therefore they need to produce it in greater quantities going forward.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see a return of, and this is the Topps Premier Club sets.
Yeah,
that's the perfect middle ground between the entry level and the hobby. Then you've got, in that middle point, you've got, what was it, Match Attacks Ultimate you had towards the end, and it was Topps Premier Club before, Topps Premier Gold. Me and you, Elliot, we had great fun with the Topps Premier Club back in the day.
Yeah.
Those shirt cards, that's the kind of thing I'd like to see. And I'd like to see Panini go down that route, to be fair, see if they can produce a mid-level thing. Because, as I just mentioned, at the moment it is quite literally just £1, £500.
Yeah.
Nothing in the middle.
I don't think Prizm is too far off what the middle ground could be. I just think the prices are too high for it.
Prizm should be priced lower.
Yeah.
That set's appalling. If you look at the checklist, it's not good enough.
Just racking your brains. What was the price of a Premier Club pack?
£3.50, I think.
Oh, and what, you got 6-7 cards in a pack?
Yeah, £3. And you used to be able, I remember we had good fun going through the boxes trying to find the cards with the shirt cards in them, the packs of the shirt cards, because they were a little bit thicker, weren't they? And the packaging was a bit looser.
Yeah.
Great.
Incredible. Yeah, I love that.
That's decent value.
What was that?
So saying that's decent value, that is
exactly.
that bang in the middle. That is brilliant value for money.
But the thing is, now there's so many more collectors out there, and there's more resellers and rookie hunters that it will just price it up. I don't think that an option is there. I don't know, because people just price it up too much. I don't know, but
yeah,
that would be so nice to see. But I suppose those middle ground sets are the ones, if you're quick enough, are those tops on demand sets they released, such as which I mean, you got a shirt, you got Origi shirt card.
Yeah.
Merlin 95 prime example, £90. That's a good set. That's a good price for guaranteed order.
They didn't release enough of them, I don't think, because the prices of that set now are skyrocketing, aren't they? The Merlin one.
Yeah, well, it is being resold for £400.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. That's the problem, because you get sets that are released in a limited amount, and then the resale prices are just through the roof.
Yeah,
I
wish I'd pick one up now. I had the option to.
Yeah.
Could have made a cheeky little profit there. Never mind.
Oh well. Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait for that to come as well. That's gonna be brilliant.
It looks incredible, that the design of the cards there as well.
It will be good. Not sure what else to cover, to be fair. Obviously, there's been, as we mentioned earlier, loads of people returning to the hobby, such as your good self, which is good. We like to see familiar faces returning, and it's a nice place. It's a nice place to be, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's one thing I would say with the community, people tend to be keeping themselves to themselves a little bit more, which I don't think is a bad thing. There's obviously some nice collaboration going on with some of these breaks and stuff, but particularly for YouTube and stuff, I think there's the heat's gone, if that makes sense. A lot of the heat and the petty squabbling has died down a little bit, which is good.
Yeah, I've seen that, especially on Twitter. Everyone's started to just chill out. If they are interacting with each other, it's only supportive stuff, which is nice to see. So yeah, it's moving into a right direction. So I'm just hoping it doesn't go back to, what was it, the end of 2020 toxicity we saw.
If everyone works together, everyone will get what they want from it. Good collections, affordable, opportunities to get lots of different things. Simple.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's a lot of good stuff to come from both Topps and Panini, and hopefully more and more people will do an Elliot and return to the hobby, start collecting again, start doing whatever they want to do with it, because there's so many different routes you can take. You can be a rookie hunter if you so wish to do so. Be one of those people. Don't know why you would, but you can be one of those people. You can be a breaker. You can be a YouTuber. You can just be an entry-level collector. There's so many things you can do with this hobby. It's brilliant, and even I've discovered new ways of enjoying it as well. And as I keep mentioning, it's the most fun I've had in so long. So, yeah,
absolutely. Well, I think that is a good way to wrap up today's podcast on that. Very, it's nice to end on a positive. We don't always end on a positive, so it's nice to end on a positive. So, I think we'll end it here today. Elliot, as always, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Love to have you back on again soon. And we'll leave Tradeby cards in the description, and we'll also leave your YouTube in the description as well. So go and subscribe if you aren't already to EC Trading. Jack, thank you as always. It's been a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure spending my Sunday afternoon filming a podcast with each of us.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. But yeah, that just leaves me to say thanks everyone for listening, watching, however you get your podcasts, and subscribe to the channel, or follow us on both podcast platforms. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. But for now, it's goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.